Terry Armstrong has been volunteering at SYRCL, by my knowledge, since 2009. Or at least that's when his name became pretty much the only name in our river monitoring database. Since then, he has logged over 30,000 water quality records, taking time each month to not only monitor a site and pick up sites when people get sick or go on vacation, but he sits in the office for hours entering the data that's collected by over 40 volunteers each month. His expert assistance does not stop there. Sarah Phillips, past river science assistant, remembers Terry entering data for our Hammond Bar restoration project. He always brought a smile to my face when he came into the office. I knew he was about to crush it with data quality control. He was on time, super efficient, and never complained about the pages and pages, I promise it's pages and pages and pages, of data we had collected. Join me in welcoming Terry to the stage and thanking him for the work he continues to take on, keeping our data on track, he even phone banks, and keeping SYRCL staff smiling. Thank you, Terry.
Caleb called me last week and asked me if I was coming to this event tonight. And I hedged a little bit because I hadn't made up my mind. And then he gave me the real reason that he was calling. I was wondering, how did you know I wasn't thinking about coming? And have you called all the people who were undecided? But then he told me why he was calling. And I was taken back a little bit, because I know there are people out there who have been volunteering with SYRCL far longer than I have, and have probably done a lot more activities over the years than I have as well. And so, on behalf of all the volunteers, I'd like to accept this, not just for me. And I want to suggest that SYRCL think about a way to make every volunteer the volunteer of the year, because I don't know how you pick out a one out of so many that are dedicating so much time. Maybe we ought to have one of these plaques on the wall in the office. Instead of the name, there's a little slot for a card. So you could put a card in there with your name on it, take a couple of selfies, post it on your Facebook page, and be the volunteer of the hour if you wanted to. When Caleb was explaining what this was all about, and I was hesitating a little bit, I said, well, in the last year I might have not done quite as much. He said, well, think of it as this SYRCL's Nobel Prize. Now, it's for an accumulation of things. And as soon as he said Nobel Prize, I knew I wanted to be here because it comes with a big check. But when I walked in the door, there was no big check. There wasn't even a little check. There was a donation envelope. So thank you, SYRCL.
Thank you, Terry. Terry is so legendary that I had been told that he had his own key, and he told me no, he actually did not have a key. I was like, really? Everyone says you have a key. Dan Youngren, are you still here? Come on up. It is... Oh, next slide. Yay, we should have Dan's picture up. Everything, you probably got a sense tonight that everything SYRCL does is in collaboration. It's in partnership, whether it's with our volunteers, our other NGOs. I saw this, Izzy from the Sierra Fund. You know, Ellie is here from the Forest Service. So many people come together because there's lots of people who love this river, and it's by working together that we're making lasting difference. And we are so honored this year to award our Yuba Partner Award to the Sierra Parks sector of the California State Parks. And to receive that is Dan Youngren. And let me just say something about our relationship with state parks. We all worked in this community to get wild and scenic 39 miles of river, right? 20 miles of that is this beautiful string of pearls that is state park land. And as more and more people have come every year to enjoy the Yuba River, the pressures on the state park have been greater and greater. And during this time, the resources for state parks have become less and less. And not only that, it got so bad, as you know, that the governor was like, we're going to close the small parks that aren't well visited. But at that time, it's too late. We got 750,000 people coming to the South Yuba River State Park every year, and without the dedicated professional staff that maintain, provide security, and look after the park, we would be in a terrible situation. And that's part of the reason that we fought to save state parks. We have partnered with their staff on so many things, including saving the bridge. And when, as Jen talked about tonight, we wanted to create a long-term sustainable way to keep the river clean, not just a one-day cleanup. How do you put 12, 24, 30, 40 people on the river as river ambassadors where there could be issues where they're going to need to call somebody for help, or where there might be liability issues for a group like SYRCL? And so State Parks said, we support what you're doing. We will make your river ambassadors state park volunteers covered by our insurance, trained to our standards. This is one of the most powerful partnerships. We have a shared goal of engaging citizens as ambassadors. We want 50 this year. I'd like to see 100 next year. Everybody, being a river ambassador means giving 3 shifts, 12 to 16 hours on the river, being trained in leave no trace ethics, keep the river clean, nonviolent communication, and we're doing all of this with the California Department of State Parks and on a day-to-day basis in direct partnership with Dan Youngren, and we are so proud that you are here. Look at that.
That's beautiful.
Let me hold it.
Thank you.
All right, please.
Wow, I don't know if I could say it better than that. Jeez. For those of you, just to kind of introduce myself real quick, I'm Dan Youngren. I'm the supervising ranger for the Sierra Gold sector, and that means Empire Mine, South Yuba River, and Malakoff Diggins. So needless to say, I'm all over the place. Just to kind of tie in really quick here, because I know I don't have a lot of time, is if I say to you state parks is having trouble financially, who in the room will be surprised? Probably not a lot of people, right? Well, those of you that might not know this, there was a report that was put out called the Parks Forward Report. I encourage you guys to go to our state website to kind of check out what was found with that. And the overwhelming thing is, how do you make state parks sustainable for the future generations? Because obviously it's not really working right now. And what the overwhelming thing that was found with that report was partnerships and volunteerism. And this is just a prime example of these types of partnerships that are going to make it so state parks are going to be around for many, many generations. And our partnership with SYRCL, I think this is only the beginning. I see a lot more things happening in the near future that we're going to be working with, and thank you very much.